Hello, good morning, everyone. So first, thanks to TRA to give this opportunity to me to show this presentation. Before we start, please allow me to introduce myself briefly. My Chinese name is Zhang Xin, and my English name is Shang. Today, our topic will focus on one of the 5G 2B autonomic applications, which is Cloud VR. Okay. And I hope during this presentation, if you have any questions, you can write down your question in the chat window. And after this presentation, I will do the answers together. Okay. So let's start our topic today. Today, we will talk about three parts about Cloud VR. The first part, we will introduce the VR industry trends. We know that VR have already existed there for more than 10 years. And during these last several years, VR have lots of new developments. And we will discuss something on that. And also in the future, VR will have some new trends, developing trends. We will introduce something about that. The second part will introduce the cloud VR applications and the technology developments. So that means what can we do by cloud VR? And also how to support the cloud VR. I mean the technology parts. Okay. The last part, we will introduce the applications, which is there will be some successful commercial use case all over the world, maybe in some countries like China and South Korea and some other countries. Okay. So let's begin with the first part, VR industry trends. So the first question, what's your idea about VR? It's called virtual reality, right? But is this VR is simple technology or it's more complicated? Or it's an ecosystems? Okay. So you can bring these questions together with you. And after this presentation, I think you will have your answer. Okay. So let's have a simple introduction about VR. VR is short for virtual reality. We got this description from Wiki, and you can take this as reference. But in generally speaking, VR is just some new kind of service. We can have some realistic images, sound, or some other sensations. It's simulation like a real world, but this world is totally virtual. It's not the real one, but it seems like the real one. It's totally new one, right? And before these technologies, usually we will use the smartphone to enjoy some services. We can see that compare with the smartphones, VR, it brings the new kind of applications. We can see all around. It's not one small screen. So usually we will wear some equipment. Maybe it's the Rift or the glasses, and we can see all the directions. And also the definitions will be very high. Okay, so there will be some HD videos such like this. Okay, so this is the concept about VR. And different people, they will have different perspectives for the VR characteristics. So we can see the maybe several decades before, when they first developed these technologies, VR, their ideas is 2I plus 1B. This 2I means imagination and interactions. The 1B is that for behavior. So this is some decades before, some ideas. But in the recent several years, our attitudes about VR technologies evolved to 3I. The 3I here we can see, which instead for the interactions like before, and also imaginations like before, and some new concept is called immersion. So immersion means the users who use the VR, it's really like we are in this VR world. we engaged in this VR world. So all the videos around us, like this means, okay. So this is the now the VR 3i. This is the new generations. We call this new experience based on VR. Okay, so you need to remember this 3i. What does this 3i is that for? Okay, the interactions, imaginations, and immersions. Okay. And before we introduce the VR, we need to know something before. Is the classifications about the realities, several technologies. So we know that in our world, it's not only VR, this one technology. We also have some other technologies similar like VR. It's called AR and MR. Okay. So VR, just now we mentioned the concept is instead for virtual reality. So that means all the videos, all the images we saw is all virtual world. It's not the real one. But AR technologies is called for advanced reality. So in this technology, we combine the real world and the virtual image together. So this one also based on some equipment like the glasses or the Rift. Okay. But the difference between VR and AR, VR, what we see is all virtual things. And AR is part of the, what we see is virtual one. And the part of them, they are real one. Okay, so this is called AR. And the MR is the combination about two real worlds. So we can see these slides. There are two real images. We combine them together. Okay. So today, our topic, we will focus on VR only. So that means all we see is virtual things. About the application of AR and MR, I think you will have already know something about that, especially for AR. For example, like the iPhone, the Apple iPhone, they have some AR technologies. They also have some tools based on AR. We can take some measurements or something based on this. But AR and MR is not today's topic. We will only focus on VR, virtual reality. Okay. So about the VR, we have so many years of history, and they also have the different types of VR we need to know. The first generation about VR is called mobile VR. We use one box together with the smartphones, and we can see these VR services. But usually, this experience will be very bad, not very good experience. The second generation is called PC VR. Usually, there will be a local computer like this one, this picture. We can see that some guy is wearing a Rift, and there will be a very long cable connect to our PC, and then we can enjoy the VR services. And in the future, the VR will be evolved to cloud-based VR. So we can see that cloud-based VR, we only need to wear a Rift or maybe a glasses. And the VR glasses will connect to our networks without the VR connections, and it's more convenient. So this is the three kind of VR. And now we already have a lot of VR equipments, cloud VR equipments without the cable connections. It's very convenient. Okay, so this is the general introduction about VR industry trends. We can imagine if you want to enjoy the VR services, the first, we need to guarantee that to wear this equipment must be very comfortable. So if we wear this equipment very heavy, or we connect a cable to a PC, it's really, usually it's not very good for us. So cloud VR will be the chance without the cable connections, and also the equipment will be lighter. Okay. So let's move to the second part, is the cloud VR applications and some technology developments. Okay. So in this part, we introduce some VR applications, what the VR can support us to do, and also how to support the VR. Okay. So the first one is we just put 4 very popular services for the time being. And these 4 services now has already been commercials in some countries or some operator. Okay, so these 4 services focus on cloud VR video. So like the first one, the videos, we can wear the VR devices to watch some videos. The second one is the cloud VR live TV. So the traditional TV is just we need a TV and then we watch the TV and it's only a small screen. But in the future, maybe we can wear a device, maybe sitting in our couch or lying on the bed evenly. We can watch this TV. It will be very comfortable, right? And next use case is cloud VR game. So we can see that the game technology industry will be a very popular industry. And we also will get a lot of incomes based on these services. The traditional games is only based on the computer, but in the future, we can provide the cloud VR games. The people, the players, it seems to just in the virtual world. So this is the immersions will be very good performance. Okay. The last one is called cloud VR education. Okay. So usually most of the students, maybe they consider the education, the studying is very boring. But in the future, we can use the cloud VR to make the education more interesting. So the students, they can see everything. It seems like in front of you. It's really interesting. Compare with the books, this kind of services will be more interesting to the students. Okay, so let's introduce this one by one. The first one is the VR video. So this is the next experience for the movies. Maybe not only for movies. Every videos we see, we can based on VR. So we can see that the technologies about video, here is the roadmap from the HD video, the high definitions evolved to 4K videos. And maybe now we are stay in the HD video or 4K videos. But in the future, we will evolve to 8K videos or 3D videos. And at last, the final destination will be VR. So what we want to see is all around us. We can turn our head, look around, everything we can see. Seems like we are in the virtual world. Okay. So let's make some analysis based on this VR videos. We can compare with the VR MX. It's just some comparison with our maybe restroom in the our house, the TV. We watch the TV, and also some comparisons with the cinemas, right? So usually the best angle for watching a video, here you can take this as reference. Usually for the normal people is 60 degree. Okay. So in this case, because we know that our sites, we have one limitation. Usually for the normal people, we can see the angle is 60 degree. But if we use the traditional TV, usually the angle is smaller than 30 degree, and the experience is not very good. Okay. So if we adopt the VR, we can support more than 60 degree these angles for the videos. If we use this, we can support a lot of new kind of services, new experience. For example, the traditional sports, like the basketball game, we can wear these VR videos, VR equipments to see these sports games. Okay? And also some shows or the concerts. And even for the BBC Live, here you can see this. It's the very beautiful tourism channels. You can watch these videos. Seems like you are there. So the experience will be very good. And the last one is the films or the TV. We watch the TV in our house everywhere. We can watch that. Only wear equipment, maybe glasses or ripped. So this is the new experience of the traditional video contents. And now a lot of companies, they have already developed these services based on the VR technologies. For example, in United States, the NBA has already supported the VR. Okay, so a lot of people, they are willing to pay this money to enjoy this VR experience, okay, to watch the NBA. Okay, and also some concerts. So this is the concert for a very famous Chinese singer. It's such several years before, and also they sells a lot of tickets online. A lot of people, they watch this concert remotely by the VR technologies. It's a very successful use case in the United States and in China. Okay. And the next service is based on VR games. Okay, so usually for the game technology, game industry, maybe several years before, we consider that the game is not a good thing. But in the recent several years, the games becomes the very popular industry. A lot of countries, they are just develop this industry. And the development of the games now has already evolved to VR games. So in this case, the players seems they are immersed in the virtual world. Seems they are in the real world, but which this is the game's world. Okay. And for example, there is one game called Beat Saber. It's like we use the sword to beat something, and the performance of the game will be very good compared with the traditional smartphone games or the PC games. And here is some examples for the VR games. There are lots of platforms and also very popular games all over the world. We can see here the famous platforms for gaming, like the PlayStation, the Steams, and Oculus Homes. They already have a lot of users, very large numbers users. And you can also take this as a reference. Different games, their price. For me, it's a little bit expensive, but people still willing to pay this money for these VR games because the experience is really good. Maybe you can check some videos on YouTube, and there will be some VR game videos. It's very interesting. And the third application, now very popular, is called VR education. We know that this year, 2020, is a very special year, and a lot of students, they have to stay home to do their homework or to do their educations remotely. So the traditional online trainings or online educations, usually the students and the teachers, they are in different places, and we cannot see each other normally, and the experience is not very good. So by the help of the VR technologies, the students and the teachers, we can see each other remotely. It seems like we are just sitting face to face. It's very similar like the traditional classroom trainings or educations. Okay. And we know that this business behaviors, we have B2B and the B2C focus on education. So usually the B2C educations, maybe this is focused on the education to the students. And the B2B education, maybe like us, is some trainings or some the meetings to some industries, to some companies. Okay. And we can see here, this is the predictions about the in the future, in the last several years, in the future several years, in the next several years, the development of the online educations. So by the help of VR, we can enjoy, we can have a better experience by the online trainings, okay, or the online educations. Okay, so just now we only list 4 of the most popular applications. But VR can support not only these 4 parts. So the first one we introduce is the VR video. Just now we introduced this. We can watch the TV by the VR equipment. And in this case, we will get better experience. What the angle we can see can be greater than 60 degree. Compared with the traditional TV, is only smaller than 30 degree. Okay, so the performance will be much better, and we can watch the TV everywhere if we want. And the second one we introduce is the TV, right? The live TV. And about the live TV, usually we watch the traditional TV, but in the future we can use the VR TV. And also the third one is the game. So we can play the games by the VR technologies. And in this case, compared with the traditional smartphone games and the PC games, the experience will be much better. Okay. And the last one just now we introduced is education. Okay. So especially for the online trainings, so we can use this VR technologies, but it's not only limited by online trainings. Now, a lot of schools, they have already introduced, developed deployed the VR technologies, even in their classroom. Okay? So this can help the students have a better experience and also make this education more interesting. Okay? And also the VR, now these 4 use case has already been very mature and also very widely commercialized in some countries. But in the future, we can also support some new kind of services. For example, like the healthcare. We can use the VR to support the healthcare. So also this year, we have a lot of patients, they have some problems and the doctor resource is very limited. So we can use the cloud VR to help the doctor to do some diagnosis remotely. And the next one, we can combine the VR technology with the marketing. Okay? So do some, maybe do some industry designs or something. Because in this VR world, everything will be virtual. And that means we can do a lot of operation which we can never do in the real world, okay, because there's some limitations. Okay. And the next one is touring. So like some very famous place of interest, you can go there. But people, maybe during this year is the special year, we cannot go there, but we can wear the VR equipment to do the remote touring, to see the beautiful place, maybe just sitting in our rooms. And also we can support the VR technology together with the arts. So some technologies, for example, we can do the paintings based on VR technologies. So a lot of artists, they can do some designs based on the virtual worlds. So compare with the traditional one, maybe when we draw some pictures, if we do something wrong, usually this whole picture can be totally destroyed. Okay? But in the virtual world, if we do something wrong, we can go back and recover these creations. So this is the VR applications. So we can see that VR can support not only one technology. It will be a lot of technologies together. So there will be VR plus everything. So this is the fundamental things in the future. So just now we mentioned the VR is so amazing. So how can we enjoy the VR? So here is the introduction about the current VR hardware. So usually if we want to enjoy the VR services, we have to wear some devices. So like this, the traditional one is the VR Rift and some controllers plus the PC. So in this PC, they must support the VR contents and we wear this Rift. But we also have some other kind of cloud VR. So like the right parts is from Huawei. This is the Huawei solution. In Huawei, we have these VR glasses. The price is not expensive, I think. It's around maybe $500, such like that price. And the weight is not very heavy. It's very light. You can wear this equipment just like your glasses, maybe a little bit heavier than your normal glasses. But this one is a little bit special. This VR glasses, there is one cable here you can see this one cable. This will connect to our smartphone, and then we can enjoy the VR services. So this one of the VR, we can also call them cloud VR, but a lot of like the computings or something is done by the smartphone. So this is the current VR solutions. And also you can, maybe you have already heard about some news. A lot of companies, they are developing some new products. Maybe in the future, a very short future, we can see more lighter equipments, and the experience will be much better than now. Okay. So this is the hardware. And what's the trends for the VR? So in the future, the VR will evolve to cloud VR. So this is the reason why we need the 5G. Okay. So we know that the problems for VR, usually the VR devices will be a little bit heavy and not very convenient to bring, to carry. Okay. So when you wear the VR Rift or VR glasses, maybe it's not very comfortable. So how to solve this problem? So we can do some analysis why the device is so heavy, because usually the VR devices, they have a lot of things to do, do some computing, right? Do some image algorithms like that. So how to solve this problem? We can move these functions to the remote servers. So in this case, the VR glasses only show the videos, show the pictures. So we move some functions from the VR hardwares to the remote servers. And in this case, we need to connect to that servers. So this is called cloud VR. But cloud VR, they also have some requirements for our networks. Yeah? Because this experience will totally based on two things. One is the delay. One is the bandwidth, is the throughput. Why these two requirement is so important? Because usually the delay, if the delay is too high, for example, greater than 20 milliseconds, the people when they wear the VR glasses, when they turn their heads, they will feel uncomfortable. So the delay is smaller and the experience will be better. Usually the maximum delay for VR services is 20 milliseconds. If this is greater than 20, it will be not very good. The second one is the throughput. We know that VR services, we can watch all around. It's not only one small screen. So the bandwidth will be very high requirements, at least 80 Mbps. If we want to get the best experience, we need at least 1.5 Gbps throughput. Okay, so this is the trend. The first one, we move the local VR to cloud VR because of the equipment is too heavy, it's too complicated. So we move some functions to the remote server. Second one is the requirement for the networks. Okay, so we can see that the delay requirement is at most 20 milliseconds, and the throughput requirement at least 80 Mbps. So this is the reason why we need 5G. Okay, so because we can see that the traditional 4G networks, we can only support the latency around 30 milliseconds to 50, and the throughput only 100. This is the peak, right? The peak throughput. So by 5G, we can support the latency at least minimum to 1 milliseconds, and the throughput up to 10 Gbps. So 5G is very important for cloud VR, this service. And so do we need 5G only? So this is another question, right? So we can see that VR, this technology is not only one single part, one single solution. This is the end-to-end solution. So if we want to watch the VR videos, for example, for VR videos, we must support the contents. They must support the VR. Okay, so here there will be some maybe VR contents providers. Okay, so this will be some new opportunities for us. Maybe we can create some VR contents and upload to some websites, and the other people, they can share this. Okay. And the second one is the content distributions for plus with 5G. Just now we mentioned the requirements of VR. We need very low latency and very high throughput. So how to support this? In the future, we need to deploy 5G, but not only 5G. If we want to reduce latency, we need to move the contents more close to the users. So there will be some MEC, the mobile edge computing technology will be very important to reduce the latency. Okay, so this is some technology part about VR. So just now we mentioned the key factors about VR. Okay, so and now we will introduce some architectures. So how to deploy the cloud VR. So in totally, we can divide this cloud VR into 4 layers. This is the total architectures. The first one is the content layer. So if we want to enjoy the VR services, we must have the VR contents. So the VR contents is different from the traditional TV because the traditional TV or the traditional videos, they only do some record based on maybe one camera. But in the future, if we want to provide the VR technologies, VR services, we need to record down all around. Maybe we need some new equipment to record down all around different directions, their videos, their images. Okay, so this is the first. It's called contents layer. The second one is the platform layer. This is the foundations about the content layer. If we want to support the VR contents, we must deploy a lot of servers, a lot of VR servers. So here is the common server. Yeah. And the third part is the network layer. The network layer is the connection between our user equipment to our networks, to the servers, to the VR servers. So usually the network layers is just our operators layers, operators networks, like our 5G networks. The last one is the terminal layers. It's just some VR equipment. Maybe it's the Rift, maybe it's the glasses. I hope in the future the VR equipment can be very, very small, just like our glasses. Okay, so the last part is some application case sharing. Okay, so in this part, we will introduce some commercial use case all over the world. Okay. The first one is the South Korea, their VR and AR. So we can see here is some status from South Korea. Okay. We know that South Korea, this country is a little bit special. A lot of new technologies will be first tried or deployed in this country. Okay, so we can see there are some operators in this country, like the LG U Plus or the KT or SKT. So there are 3 operators in this country. We know that in the last several generations of wireless technologies, like 2G, 3G, 4G, South Korea is always the first operator to try these technologies. Okay. And also same with the 5G. So South Korea, they first deployed the 5G by the year of 2018, very, very early, right? Because 2018, they held the Winter Olympic Games. And in that Olympic Games, Winter Olympic Games, South Korea operators, they have already deployed the VR services. Okay. So in that case, people watch the Olympic Games, they watch that not only based on the traditional TV, they have already support the VR of live broadcast, like some very famous Olympic Games. They use the VR contents. And in the last year, 2019, they also have a very big improvement for the VR users. So you can see here is the status. Compared with the 2018 to this year, 2020, they have very big growth. And the special services provided by the South Korea LGU Plus, they provide some new kind of live broadcast together with VR. For example, if you watch a games like the baseball, usually for the traditional TV live broadcast, we only watch the TV. The TV shows us what contents we have to watch that. We cannot customize our contents. But by the 5G plus cloud VR, people can choose the angles, choose the videos, which part we want to see. We can enlarge that part, and also which directions we want to see. Maybe for the baseball, there will be different directions. We can watch that games into different directions. So people, they can choose the directions. And it seems like the people, they are just in the middle of the playground. Yeah. So this is a very good performance. And now VR and AR market in South Korea has already reached by 4.77 billions by this year. It's a very, very large markets. Okay. So this is some use case in South Korea. Okay. And the next use case, let's move to United States, America, and also some European countries. So in United States and Europe, also they are also very famous on the sports. So for example, in United States, in America, NBA is very popular. So the basketball games is very popular in not only in United States, but also all over the world. At least in China, it's very, very popular. So people, they are willing to watch these NBA games. But the traditional NBA live shows, live broadcast, we use the traditional TV. And we can only see one direction, right? But in the future, maybe not future, now we have already support, right? By the year of 2018 to 2019, this season for the NBA, they have already deployed the VR services. So the users who paid for these services, they can enjoy the VR services. They can watch the NBA games into different direction. It seems like you are very close to the very famous star, right? Like LeBron James. It's very similar. It seems like he is just in front of you. So that kind of experience will be very, very good performance. Okay. And in Europe, Europe is also very famous for their football games. Maybe United States is for basketball, but in Europe is very famous on the football games. And also like the Germany, they have already deployed these services together with the football leaguers. So we can see that if we want to support these VR technologies successfully, so it's not only there's the one part we can support. We must engage with the content provider, maybe the NBA leaguers or the football games. We must work together with them. So this is the some use case in United States and European countries. And the last part, let's have a look at about China. Okay. So China is a little bit special compared with the just now we mentioned these two countries. In China, we have three operators, which is China Telecom, China Unicom, and China Mobile. You can see that in China, the users is very large numbers because the population is very large, right? And the operators in China, we deployed the VR, usually is based on the IPTV. IPTV. This is maybe some deployments based on China's Chinese operators. Because China is a little bit special, we don't have so famous games like the basketball or the football games is not as famous as United States and the European countries. But in China, we have some industries, some business, very, very modern. For example, like the online gaming. So in China, the online gaming players is very, very large numbers. So like this in the middle pictures. So usually maybe several years before, only the young people, they are willing to play the games, the video games. But now, not only the young men, a lot of elder people, they also want to enjoy these services. So in this case, a lot of companies, the game companies in China, they have already support the VR games. And also we work together with the operators. The game company work together with the operators. We provide the online gamings for the users. And in the recent several years, a lot of computer games, because of their experience is very, very good experience. So the files of the game, the installation files is very, very big, maybe more than 20 gigabytes, or some games even more than 100 gigabytes. It's very, very large. So people, they can enjoy these games without installing the games by the online gaming. So this is the technology based on 5G. And also we can use this together with the VR. So we can see that compared with the traditional games, VR games, the local files will be very, very large. So a lot of people, they don't want to download that files. So we can use the remote cloud PC to play these games. Okay. And the second application in China, very, very popular, is the 4K TV. Maybe now it's 4K TV, and I heard about some news. It said that maybe next year, some operator, they can provide 8K TVs. So both of them, they are limited by the TV, the hardware itself. But if we deploy the VR glasses or VR Rift, we can support without the 8K TV or 4K TV. We can also enjoy this based on only by the VR Rift. So one of my friends, they have already tried this. By wearing the VR glasses or VR Rift, he can lie in the bed to watch the movies, watch the TV. It's very convenient, very comfortable. Okay, so this is the use case in China. Okay. And in China, some hardware companies, the VR hardware companies, they are doing some better performance about the hardware. So a lot of companies, they are working on this. I think maybe in a very short time, they will have very good performance hardware, which is very cheap and very good performance. Okay. So this is the use case in China. So just now we mentioned the VR is so amazing, and they can provide us the totally new kind of experience. So how can we involve in this VR world? So that means VR, let's go back to the first page, the questions. Is the VR is the single technology, or is a very complicated ecosystems? I think now you have your answer, right? So VR is not only one single technology. VR is the totally new industry. There will be a lot of ecosystems involved in. So we can see that we can engage in the contents provider. For example, now a lot of companies, they have already working on this, like Google or some in China is the video video companies, video providers like the iQIYI and also Baidu. They also have the contents provider, and also some gaming companies like the Blizzard, right? Oculus. A lot of companies provide the VR gamings. So this is the contents provider. And next is the operators. Maybe it's the platform part, right? The platform. The platform parts, usually the operators can involved in this. So we need to deploy a lot of servers. And this server, we need some maybe data center. So usually, besides of the operator, very few companies can deploy the data center. Maybe some internet company, they can have their own data center. Okay, so this is the platform, the contents platform. Okay, usually operator will do this, a lot of things in this part. And the next part is the network layers. The network layers connect our user equipment to our platform. Usually this part can only provided by the operator. These networks also consist of the traditional three parts: the core networks, the IP networks, this is the transmissions, right? And also the wireless part. So maybe in the wireless part, like the vendors like Huawei, Ericsson, some other vendors, they can provide the product like 5G to connect these terminals to the platform. Okay. The last part is the terminals. The terminals part is maybe it's the smartphones or the Rift or the glasses. So we can have a lot of companies, they are working on this. Also like Huawei. Huawei also have the VR glasses. Okay. And maybe some other companies like Xiaomi or Sony, they have already have their own VR equipment. Okay. So we can see that when the VR becomes very popular, these ecosystems, they can provide us a lot of new job opportunities. We can try some new kind of services. In the 4G area, the short videos becomes very, very popular. Like TikTok, such kind of applications becomes very, very popular. But in the era of 5G, maybe VR will be the next TikTok. So we are very looking forward to see the new world. What the new world will be looks like. Okay. So this is all the contents about today's presentation. And if you have any questions, you can write down your question in the chatting window. I will answer that together. So let me see, do you have any questions? Okay, there any questions? Okay, I found one question. Is explain about MR, right? MR. Okay, let's introduce something about MR. MR is called a mixed reality. Mixed reality. That means we combine two real things together. Two real things together. For example, we can combine let me take one example. For example, if we want to do some shows, for example, when we buy some clothes online, if we want to buy the clothes online, usually the clothes is the real things, right? But we cannot try that remotely. So if we want to try this, we can use the real image, our real body, and the real clothes to combine these two things together in one part. So we can see after wearing that clothes, what we will looks like. So we combine two real things together. So this is called MR. And also they also have some other use case. For example, in China, we have once the MR applications is the concert. So there will be one band, the popular music band. When they play this the music, they are not together, They are just in their own homes, in their own house. Maybe different people, they are in different province, very remote parts. And when the people watch these concerts, we can see all of them together in the same same place. So this is the combinations about different real image. We combine them in a real world. So different videos or different image, they are all of them, they are the real things, and we can combine them together. It's something like the full view image. Maybe you heard about this technology called full view image. So we combine several real things together in one place. So this is called MR. Different from VR. VR, what we see, all of what we see, they are virtual things, not the real things. Okay, so this is VR, and MR is all the real things. We can combine them together in one place. So this is the difference. Okay. And any other question? Okay. Just now we also mentioned the AR, right? The AR, the one's the reality. So AR is the combination about the real world and the virtual world together. For example, the people, they can wear AR glasses. For example, for some security guards, they can do some analysis for some people, whether these people is allowed to come in to our campus. So when you wear the AR glasses, they can identify the real people, their face, and then show some informations in their glasses, just besides their face. You can see these people, their information. So this is called AR. But today, our presentation today, we don't talk too much about the AR and MR. We only focus on the VR. Okay, so this the AR and MR is another topic. Okay, any other question? Okay, there is another question. What is the expected challenges to achieve 5G plus AR? Okay, so this is the challenges. So when we deploy 5G plus AR, I think all the technologies based on 5G have the similar challenge. So the first one, we need to guarantee that 5G coverage must be very good. So everyone, we want to use these services. If this service is based on 5G, we must get 5G everywhere. So if there is no 5G coverage, it's very hard to have a better experience. The second challenge for this 5G plus VR or AR is based on the service itself, VR or AR service. So in this case, VR and AR service, if we want to get the very good performance, we must support several things. The first one, whether we have very cheap devices, we can support the VR or AR. Very cheap devices. If the device is very, very expensive, beyond the ordinary people, their limits, they are not willing to pay for this. The second one is for the performance of this equipment. I mean the VR, AR, this equipment. They cannot be very, very heavy or inconvenient to bring. We must make this device smaller and lighter. And also the performance must be very good. What we see is very clear video. They cannot be some some not clear, some kind of performance, or some lag, or some bad performance. The second challenge for this is the whole ecosystem problem. It's not from us, it's the contents. Whether we have this VR or AR contents which can support us. But in my opinion, the challenge and the opportunities, they are work together, right? They exist together. So if we have more challenges, that means we have more opportunities. So I think maybe there will be some companies similar like the Apple based on 5G, right? If they can develop some new services based on VR, and they will be very popular all over the world, I think it's not very hard. Maybe it's not. It's hard to say. I'm not sure. I hope there will be one company as like this. They can become very popular all over the world. They can provide the VR or AR services. Okay. Okay. So this is the question. It's the challenge. Okay. Very good question. Any other question? Okay, so any question, you can write down them in the chat window, and we can discuss on that. Okay, so if you don't have some further questions, we will stop our presentation today. And thank you very much. Okay, thanks TRA to give these opportunities to me. Thanks.